Today's dinner was a blast, Heidi. The restaurant was fancy as heck, and the food was out of this world. Seriously? If you ever plan another outing, don't hesitate to invite my hubby and me. It was a spectacular time.
About that. Do you guys think you could chip in for your own food?
Huh? Why?
Well, here's the deal. You and your hubby went all out with the extra drinks and appetizers tonight. Way more than everyone else. Extra caviar, top shelf champagne. The bill ended up being over $4,000 just from your extra orders. Paul and I were a bit shocked when we saw that.
And what's your point? Today was your celebration for getting hitched, right? If you're not even planning to have a wedding, the least you can do is treat your family to dinner. So don't expect a dime from me or my husband, okay?
I get where you're coming from, but we didn't expect you two to go all out on drinks and food like that. A little extra bread would have been fine, but it went way overboard tonight.
Well, sorry to bust your bubble, but I didn't think my hubby and I would end up spending over $4,000 on everything. Your one-course meal for us wasn't gonna cut it. We just wanted to enjoy some extra grub and drinks to make the celebration special. And let me tell you, at the restaurants we usually go to, that same amount of food and drinks would cost us like $200 tops. This is what happens when you try to show off by booking some fancy joint.
So you're blaming us for picking that restaurant, Judy?
Bingo! My husband and I came here to celebrate my little bro and his wife. So don't get all worked up about us being here if you're the ones who invited us in the first place.
Can you at least cover a small portion of what you guys consumed? We'll cover 80%. And if you guys can handle the remaining 20, that would be great. At least then we wouldn't have to foot the whole $4,000 bill for you two.
Stop messing around with me, Heidi. It's because of you two getting such a fancy and high-end restaurant that I had to pay a pretty penny for all my makeup and hair to be done. Yet now you want us to pay more for just eating some food? We aren't paying for a thing tonight.
Really?
Maybe from now on, you guys should stick to chain restaurants or something casual. If you don't want to pay more than $1,000 for everyone... Right. How about next time you guys just host a party at your house for everyone? Have everyone that comes at least bring one food or drink with them, and then you won't have to pay more than $200 for the night.
A home party, huh?
We talked about it today during dinner. You guys are planning to move into an amazing apartment tower now that you're married, right? The views are amazing and the rooms are spacious. And when Mom and Dad went with you guys to check the place out, they had a ball. So when you guys are ready, we'll come over to play as well.
Well, if that's what you guys want to do next, I'll have to check with Paul first. I can't just choose these sort of things on my own. Well, we'll make sure to make time for whenever you guys are ready to have us over.
When you both have a good date open, let us know. We'll bring some food and alcohol over, and we can all have a fun night.
My dad just told me that he and Mom had made it back home safely. They said that today's dinner was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you for letting me know, and I'm happy to hear they both had a great dinner with us. And actually, just a bit ago, I was texting with Judy. She said she and her husband both had a great time as well.
Well, maybe that's due to the two of them going over the top with all the food and drink they ordered. When you asked them to pay for what they ate, did she take that well?
She told me she has no intention of paying for it. I asked them to at least pay a portion of the bill, but even then she told me they already paid enough just to be there for us. and then went on to tell me that asking for money from them now is just not right.
Dang it. Then I guess that $4,000 is all going to have to be paid off by us. I'm sorry for my stupidly selfish sister. I'll make sure to pay for all they ate with my savings.
No, you don't have to do that. We both invited them to be at the dinner, so I'll pay for half of that. Anyway, Judy also said she'd like to come to our new apartment to hang out sometime. And wondered if we could do a home party and all.
What? She invited herself to have a home party at our new place?
Well, talking about today's dinner led us to starting a new conversation about the apartment. And that's when she said that she wanted to come over and party.
She must have heard about Mom and Dad coming with us to check the place out last time. And since they all seemed to be really interested in the apartment, they always commented about it throughout today's dinner.
And that's what got Judy really into coming over to see the place firsthand. She said she and her husband would bring some food and drinks, and we could all have a party there. What should we do? Should we have a party, and when?
No, I'm not going to let her and her husband into this new apartment. You can just forget about her ever asking about a home party, because it's not happening at our place. Next time, if she says anything about it, tell her I've said no.
Huh? You don't want either of them coming over to our place? You'll let your mom and dad come.
I have a hunch that when she comes here, she'll try to steal something from us. And I'm not letting that happen. So she's not coming in. And if she does come in, we'll lose some things and never see them again.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
I know that you can't see it in them, but my sister and her husband are both very selfish and will do anything and take anything they please. You could say that she's jealous of what others have, but too cheap to buy her own things. But I know that if she comes into our house, she'll leave with her hands full of our things.
Are you serious?
When I was living on my own, she came over quite often to hang out with me. She'd say she was in the area shopping and wanted to stop over in my place and take a rest. But when they'd leave my place, I'd start realizing it was missing some of my things.
Are you sure you're not just mistaking some things?
I made sure to check everywhere for my things before accusing them. I started to notice that my toilet paper would disappear. But as time went on and they got worse and worse, I started to notice my clothing had gone missing and things like that.
What?
Even the t-shirts I collected from those metal concerts I've gone to were missing. And one time, when her husband came over, I saw him taking my things. Of course, I confronted them about it right then, but then they told me that they were just borrowing things before they ran off with them. And ever since, I've gotten nothing of what they borrowed back.
That's really terrible of them, though. Even if you're family, that shouldn't mean that they get to have all your things.
And that's the reason why those two are not allowed in our new apartment. And this place isn't just mine, but ours. And we have a lot of things here. I'm at least a little used to having some of my things stolen. But if they start stealing your things too, I'd break.
I get that, and I'm not too happy about any of that either. Then I guess we're not going to be having a house party with them then. And even besides that, we'll make sure to not let her or her husband into our place.
Yeah, let's do our best with that. I'm sorry, Heidi. My family has all sorts of problems. If she says anything else to you about it, tell me right away. I'll make sure to handle them for you, since she's my sister after all.
Heidi? I decided to come over to hang out. But why are you not here? Are you guys out of the house somewhere?
Wait, Judy?
I bought some beers to bring over. So I'll put those in the fridge for later, okay? We can have them all when everyone's back here.
The fridge? Hey, slow down a second there. Don't tell me you're in our apartment right now.
You never ended up letting me know when we could come over. So I decided to let myself in. We already knew that Mom had a set of keys to the place. So after going to their house after dark, we grabbed the keys and came here to let ourselves in today.
What? But that's breaking and entering, right?
What are you talking about, Heidi? We are your family, so we don't have to worry about things like that. But before we talk any more about that, can you tell us where you both went? It's the weekend now, so we had planned to come and have drinks with you both.
Well, we're on our honeymoon right now. I told you earlier that we'd be going to Europe today for our honeymoon and that we'd be back sometime later, right?
Huh? Is that so? I feel that you did tell me that one time, but I guess I forgot. But back then, while you were still around, you should have invited me. So I was a bit disappointed in you for that.
You were disappointed? I had some feeling that day that you really wanted me to ask for you to come over, but...
Really? And that's because I did want you to ask me over. Yet now that I decided to let myself over, you both happen to be out of the country. I don't even want to go home now. I guess until you both get back, we'll just have to live here.
What?
And just as Mom and Dad said, this place is super spacious. It's like living in the dream world, being up this high in the apartment tower with all this nice interior. I think we'll be taking this place over from now on. I think it's been long enough now. So why don't you and Paul just hand this place over to his big sister?
There is no way we'd ever do something like that for you. Don't say such stupid things and just hurry up and leave our apartment, okay? Entering into someone's house without asking is trespassing, and that's not good.
I told you, it's fine. We're your family, right? I just found some really high quality steak in you guys' freezer. A5, huh? That's pretty expensive, isn't it? You and my little brother sure have lived the dream life here.
Please stop going through our freezer like that.
What is all of this? Some really expensive looking wines and the most amazing looking cheese? I'm going to open these all up right away. I'll make sure to leave you guys those cheap beers in exchange for this lovely wine, okay?
I am telling you to please stop, Judy. You can't go into someone else's house and start eating and drinking all their things like that.
What? What is this? What are all these really high-end pieces of jewelry you have here? These are those types that were only sold a limited time and were gone within days, right?
Hey, what are you doing now, fishing around like that? Do not just go into our room looking through all our things. Please.
I heard that these things can sell for a lot online right now. My God. I just put one of them up for sale and it's already been sold. And I just made 3 times the original amount on it. This is amazing here.
You have to be joking. Did you just sell one of my pieces of jewelry?
It's fine, it's fine. I'll make sure to give you half the money I received, okay? And the other half will go to me for going through all this work.
Stop all of this right now, Judy. Doing all of this after breaking into our house is not okay. If you are not out of that house in 1 minute, I'm calling the police.
What? Were you not listening to what I just said a second ago? My husband and I really like this apartment. And so from here on out, it's where we're going to live. So this is no longer you guys' place to call home anymore.
Excuse me?
you guys don't have a place to come home to now. You guys still have some time on your honeymoon to start looking for a new place to live.
We never planned to go back there.
Huh?
Actually, a few days before we went on vacation, Paul and I moved out of there. And so we haven't been planning on ever going back there once we're done on our honeymoon.
You moved out? Then whose place is this right now? And the key that Mom and Dad had still allowed us to get in? Normally, when someone moves out, the company that owns the tower will change the lock, right?
Well, the next couple to be moving in is close to us. And so we saw no need having all the locks and keys changed out. After all, we were handing that place over to your mom and dad to live in.
What? My mom and dad?
Actually, we've been talking with them about this. They told us before that they really did love our apartment a lot. And when we told them that we had planned to move out at some point, they asked if they could have it as their next home.
Their new home?
Well, the house they had was getting really old, and they were first thinking of remodeling that house. But during that time, they came over and saw our new apartment, and that's when they became interested in wanting to live here. But having them look for a tower apartment of their own to move into can be pretty stressful. So your brother and I started thinking that maybe they can move into our apartment. And so in the end, we decided to have them take our place and move in. And they really liked that idea and thanked us for it.
What the heck?
And also recently, you have been a pain in the butt. So we had the idea of moving out of our minds a month now. And so since we both have been wanting to move and your parents really wanted this place, we gave it to them in turn for whatever money they got for that old house so that we could get a new place to live. And that's why we were able to move out of there right before we took our honeymoon and have a new place to live.
So then that means... Wait a sec. So right now, this isn't your guys' apartment, but my mom's and dad's?
Yep. Your parents wanted a more relaxed life, and living there would give them that. And so that steak and wine and cheese that you just happened to eat and drink all belong to your mom and dad. And that high-end piece of jewelry you just sold belonged to your mom. And I remember her telling me that she always had to take days out of her life waiting to buy those for herself.
Huh? You're lying, right? What should I do? I didn't know all this belonged to my parents now.
And it seems your mom and dad are close by going on a walk right now. And when I called them and let them know of this, they said they start walking home right away. So they should be there any minute now to see you both.
Oh, crap, 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 crap! Right now the doorbell is going off like crazy. Mom and Dad are gonna be so pissed with me for this.
Well, Paul and I are on our honeymoon trip, so I'm going to have to leave you with them now. Make sure to apologize to them both, okay?
Help me, Heidi. Do you think you can let us come stay with you for a bit?
Huh? What happened to you?
My mom and dad kicked me out of their apartment. I tried so hard to apologize to them for everything, but they were both so frustrated with me that they wouldn't listen to a word I said. And they ended by saying they never wanted me around them ever again. But my husband and I had planned to live in that apartment, right? And so the apartment we had before we gave up, before coming over to that tower apartment.
Man, you really did plan on taking our apartment away from us.
Right now, we're trying to make it work without a house. But I can't do it any longer. And another thing, right? I was fired from my job. But with the amount my husband brings in, we cannot live like this. And we have no savings. And without any money, he and I can't find a place to rent.
And having to move into someplace new does cost a lot of money and time, right?
So if you can, please let us stay with you until we have enough money saved up. That'd be much appreciated. Let us know where you guys moved to. You guys have to be back from that honeymoon by now, right? So please let us live with you guys for a while in that new place.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. After telling Gage about what happened recently and the history he's had with you, I don't think I'll ever be able to allow you guys around our house.
But we're family, aren't we? And even if we're in-laws, I've always seen you as my little sister. And you can see that your older sister is struggling right now, so just shut up and let us stay with you. If you don't, I'm no longer going to be friendly with you.
Actually, I'm totally fine with you, and I will never see you again. And if you think you're struggling right now, I'd rather not let you over here. Or else you'll make Paul and I struggle with both of you as well. And I get that you think I'm your little sister, but in reality, I'm your husband's boss. And so really, I have control over what happens with you both, huh?
You're my husband's boss?
So no matter how much you think you and I have been close, I'm not thinking of us the same way. He's my employee right now, and I don't want to have a personal connection to his family when at any moment I might need to fire him.
Huh? Wait. What did you just say?
We had talked about this during my dinner a while back. But I suppose you both were drunk off of that champagne, and so you never heard me talking about being your husband's boss.
You guys really work for the same company? What the hell? This is the first time I'm hearing about any of this.
And the company we work for isn't all that big. So when I got married, he knew about it pretty quickly. Words began to spread then about how he and I would be related, and that would mean he would be my subordinate, even though he's my family and that's against company policy. So the plan was that after I'd gotten married and was back in office, he would have to change departments. And so actually, he's been left with another manager in charge of him.
Wait. What? Why do you get to be above my own husband in that company? My husband is older than you, right?
But I happen to have a lot better of an education. And I've done a lot more for this company.
Huh?
This company is relatively new. And so things like age and gender play no part in who becomes manager here. And so those who actually put in the work and are educated in what they do get to move up.
So wait. That means you're saying my husband pretty much sucks at his job there?
Well, to be honest, yes. And I have to say, I'd never really want to consider him my employee or anything. Just be aware that when I'm back, things will become a lot more strict for him. I don't want him thinking he can just keep getting away with slacking off while he has a bunch of work to get done.
What?
I've heard from a lot of the other leaders in this company about him. They say he's never wanted to get anything done right, and he's always on his phone or at other people's desks talking with them. That's probably the reason someone like me was able to become a manager here, and he had to stay put.
Huh? What? Wait, you... Just because we're family doesn't mean you get a free pass to start talking about my husband that way. I promise you that he will not take all that talk lightly. He'll make sure to surpass you in no time there.
And that would be awesome. But before he can do that, I think he'll be on the company's chopping block.
Huh?
According to others, he has been stealing some things from the company. And soon the company will have evidence of all that to work with. And since you've been fired, and so will your husband here soon, you both will be stuck in a pretty crappy lifestyle.
Excuse me?
I'll just say this for your sake, but remember that even though you guys will have nowhere to go, you cannot break into other people's homes. They might really call the police on you both. And that wouldn't turn out well. Now I'm going to say goodbye. After all that drama, the next day, Judy's husband got hauled into the HR office and got a serious scolding. They had proof that he'd been stealing stuff from the company, and he had the nerve to blame it on his wife, saying she asked him to take those things. He actually had the audacity to argue that he shouldn't be fired just for listening to his wife. But the HR people shot back, saying his work ethic was crap and all he ever did was chat with coworkers all day. They kicked him out of the office building on the spot and told him never to come back. On top of that, they made him pay back the company for the stuff he'd stolen, which added up to a whopping $750. Talk about a major blow. Then those two went running back to Judy's mom, bawling their eyes out, hoping for some understanding. But she wasn't having any of it. When she found out they were causing trouble for everyone, not just the family, she dropped the hammer and said they were no longer part of the family. And you know what? That was music to Paul and me. We were thrilled to be rid of them. They tried asking friends if they could crash at their places, but everyone shut them down real quick. No one wanted their stuff going missing too. So finally, they gave up on relying on others and started looking for jobs to rebuild their lives from scratch. Right now, they're both working at some 2-star hotel outside of town, and that's where they live too. All I can say is, my husband and I are praying they don't mess things up there and ruin their last shot at redemption.